This is the Black Box tier list. This is it right here. So we've got all 30 Black Box games, NES Black Box games down here. I'm gonna rank all of them based on, I have to fix this now. I'm gonna rank them on 5 categories. So real quick, let me delete this row. That actually frees up some space here, and then perfect. And I've got some NES music going. If it's too loud, let me know. Okay. So we're gonna judge it by amazing, which is exactly as it says. Good, which means maybe there's 1 or 2 things wrong with it, but otherwise still a good game. Fine is eh. Poor is, there might be 1 thing that's okay about it, but it's not really that good. And then awful, which means you should steer clear from this game. I might revise this later, but we're gonna go through this. Also, let me switch the colors here. This makes more sense to, I don't know why. Yeah, it makes more sense to have red at the bottom for me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm being a bit too picky, but make that bright yellow. There we go. Okay, this is it now. So I'm gonna rank every single Black Box game. I think I'll just go in order, unless people really want me to give my thoughts on one particular game. But anyways, here it is. Let's start with 10-Yard Fight. And right off the bat, this is already gonna be awful. This game's not good. 10-Yard Fight's just not a good game. It's basically football, but the problem with this game, 1, it's super easy. It's incredibly free if you know a strategy how to beat it. 2, there's not much music or anything. How dare you? Yeah, 10-Yard Fight is just not a very interesting game to play, but also trying to win this game is a challenge. Like, there's another game I'll talk about later where it's honestly, like, not that good either, but at least you can win, and at least there's something of interest there. 10-Yard Fight, I can't get into at all. So, unfortunately, we're starting with an awful. However, we're now going to a good with Balloon Fight. Balloon Fight, I think, gets a bad rap from people. Balloon Fight's honestly a pretty fun game. The mechanics take a lot of getting used to. Don't get me wrong there. It takes a lot of getting used to. But Balloon Fight is also just pretty challenging. I don't know. I like Balloon Fight. It's not the best just because of the mechanics. But yeah, I'm comfortable putting it here. I'm comfortable putting it there. Baseball is fine. It's not a very interesting game, but I will say when I was speedrunning baseball, even though it's not a good speed game in my opinion, and even though it's just not the greatest casual game, there's still some enjoyment to be had, especially if you get a home run. So baseball is just completely fine. It's not amazing, but I can at least recommend people try it, see if they like it. If they don't, it's okay. I'll leave baseball at fine. Clue Clue Land is probably going to be my first controversial pick. I'm putting it in poor. Clue Clue Land is very hard to get used to and very hard to understand the game mechanics. It took me forever to understand how to move your character around. I will say the game itself, Ariel's happy about this. I will say the game itself has some redeeming qualities. I like the idea of this game. It's just, again, it takes my brain way too long to understand how you're supposed to move around, you know, how to grab things and move around, that kind of thing. But I will say Clue Clue Land used to be an awful for me, but skill issue. Yeah, thanks. But there was also somebody on Game FAQs who literally said that they had the same problem I did, but the easiest way, or at least the way they explained it, just made it click for me. So Clue Clue Land could move up in the future if I were to re-rank these, but as of now, I'm going to put it in poor. I think other people will probably have it in fine or good, maybe even amazing. I'm leaving Clue Clue Land at poor. Donkey Kong 3. Okay, we've got all 4 of the Donkey Kong games. They're all Black Box games. Donkey Kong 3 is my least favorite. It's not awful, though. I'm going to put it in poor as well. I just get bored of playing this. It's not a very interesting game. Unfollow, unsubscribe, blocked. Clue Clue Land. You spelled it wrong, Ariel. I don't know. Donkey Kong 3 is not that interesting to me. It's not a bad game. It's just I don't really have any desire to play this one when there are 3 others that I much prefer. Donkey Kong Jr. Math is fine. It's just fine. One thing about this game is it's way too easy. Calculate A, I should say. Calculate B is a little tougher. That probably is what saves it. But it's literally just you're running around the stage picking up numbers, and that's, you know, that's just that. You know, find the right math symbols and just do math. If you're not good at math, you're probably going to hate this game. I'm not even good at math. I used to be good at it. Donkey Kong Jr. Math, it's... I don't know if... A lot of people, when this game released on, like, Virtual Console and stuff, said that it was not worth the price, which is fair. It's very interesting that this even released, or was even developed. But, honestly, Donkey Kong Jr. Math is just fine. Donkey Kong Jr.'s, I'd say good. I'd say good. I don't know if it goes in amazing yet. Again, I might revise all this later. Donkey Kong Jr. is a very good game. I like it. There's not really too much wrong with it. It can be a little bit tough to do just because, you know, it's very punishing. I'll say that. Donkey Kong has this other quality too. It can be punishing because if you lose all your lives, that's it. You're done. But I think Donkey Kong Jr. is basically Donkey Kong, but just with a few more twists. And yet, for some reason, I still feel like Donkey Kong goes in amazing, just because of, like, this is the classic game. This is the first one. Like, Donkey Kong Jr. essentially expanded on it, and yet, at the same time, I still feel like Donkey Kong should be higher ranked. I don't know if I can rank this below Jr. Donkey Kong is just, again, the classic. It literally says classic on here. There's even a speed run. It's very short and sweet. It's a minute long. You can go out of bounds on the first level, which is kind of insane that it even works. And then stage 3 has some randomness to it, but it's overall not too. This game's just not too hard overall. It's not too bad. So yeah, Donkey Kong I think goes in amazing. Duck Hunt. Where do I put you? You know what? You go in amazing. I've had Duck Hunt since I was a little kid. When I was first playing Mario 1 and Mario 3 and Burger Time, I also had Duck Hunt with the Zapper. I have 2 Zappers, actually. Yes, it is better than Clue Clue Land. And that's not even a joke, either. Ariel hates Duck Hunt because he plays on emulator, and that is not the way you're supposed to play Duck Hunt. For all of you out there, that's not how you're supposed to play it. You get a CRT, you get the Zapper, you get the console. That's how you play it. And Duck Hunt is just... I mean, there's a reason that everybody knows this game, at least. I mean, part of it was because it was a pack-in with Mario, but also the idea of you at home in front of your TV shooting, unheard of at the time. Nintendo was really onto something with this game. And so, yeah, Duck Hunt goes in amazing. Partially because of just the quality of the game. If you're doing a speed run, it's not the most interesting. If you're playing on emulator, you're probably gonna hate this game because, you know, Ariel over here, hating Duck Hunt just for that reason. But I can look past a game's faults on emulator. I can do that and be like, oh, but this game is still good. So yeah, Duck Hunt, amazing. Excite Bike is good. I don't know if it's just because I'm bad at Excite Bike. It's just good to me. I think one of the things I struggle with when it comes to Excite Bike is it's just, in general, very difficult. It's hard to get used to for me. But I will say, Excite Bike is still very fun to play. The mechanics make sense. Your max speed button is the B button. It doesn't feel much faster, I will say. Not sure why, it just doesn't. But again, Excite Bike I still am a fan of. It's just a solid game. It's a very good game. I'm just not very good at it, is kind of my issue. Golf, fine, I guess. I don't know. Golf has no music, which sucks. The actual gameplay of golf is fine. Like, it's just fine. You're gonna cancel, or Ariel's gonna cancel me on Twitter. Yeah, probably. If Twitter doesn't burn to the ground by the time I finish this tier list. Yeah, golf is fine. There's no music. It's incredibly basic. But again, it's fine. It's not. I can't put it in poor or anything because the game works. It does what it's supposed to. Gumshoe. Fuck this game. Gyromite, I'm gonna put in good. I think Gyromite's good. First off, you don't have to have a Rob to play Gyromite. You can play it with 2 controllers, which I really like. I'm glad they gave you that option. And all you have to do, really, is just run around the course, grab all the dynamite, and don't get hit by an enemy. And don't get stuck anywhere to where you can't escape. Yeah, Gyromite's a lot of fun. It's a great puzzle game. There is, if you're doing a speedrun, there's some RNG that can throw you off a little bit. Gyromite could arguably go in amazing. However, I can't put it there because I would have to test this game with a Rob, which I don't have. I don't have a Rob. So, yeah, there's one other game, that one, I'll get to that later, that requires a Rob. But this one does not require a Rob. So, Gyromite is good. I like it. Hogan's Alley is fine. Duck Hunt's a lot better, but at the same time, I think Hogan's Alley is still a pretty okay game. It's, you know, it's another Zapper game. But at the same time, Hogan's Alley is more about like speed, whereas Duck Hunt is get a sense of the situation and then shoot. Whereas Hogan's Alley is just straight up how fast can you pull that trigger. So, yeah, Hogan's Alley's fine. Not my favorite, but it still deserves to be there at least. What is going on with the playlist? Let's start it from the top. Okay. All right. Ice Climber is... Ice Climber's not a good game, but I don't know if it's poor or awful. Because, first off, Ice Climber's physics are atrocious. They are absolutely atrocious. They don't work. Especially if you're sliding on ice, which I get is the point. They just don't work. That's really the main issue with Ice Climber. And the fact that there's 32 levels. The one redeeming quality of Ice Climber is that, first off, you can pick any level you want at the title screen. You don't have to play in order. You can start at any level and go. Up to you. But also, Ice Climber is just not that fun. It really isn't. It's not a very punishing game for a speedrun, and it's, you know, it's just, I don't know. I can't really recommend Ice Climber, which is a shame. You'd think Ice Climber would be better than this, but it's just not. The music is, like, passable, I guess. The audio is passable. It's fine. Not like a couple other games on this list, but, yeah. Ice Climber's going in poor tier, which is a shame, but whatever. Kung Fu is... fine. Kung Fu's fine. It's not my favorite game. One, because it's very punishing, but two, it's also incredibly basic, which I guess is the point. Kung Fu's not bad by any means. It's just, again, it's punishing if you don't know what to do, if you don't know the strategies. But two, again, not crazy fun. It is fine, though. I can at least recommend people try it, see if they like it. It's not too bad. It's just, again, not the most exciting game, not the most interesting speedrun in my opinion, but it's fine enough. You can easily get like stonewalled by some bosses. They can just completely wreck you if you're not prepared. But the game is short, 5 levels, so. Mach Rider's awful. Mach Rider's awful. I will say, I think of these 3 games, I think it's better than 10-Yard Fight and Gumshoe. I'll reorganize these later and actually put them in order, but Mach Rider, the problem is Mach Rider is so difficult, and you can die like that. It's so BS how this game works. Mach Rider, you'll just be driving, trying to dodge obstacles, and a car will just come up behind you and immediately kill you, and you don't have a choice. You can't do anything about it. You have to just hope that they crash or hope that they pass you or whatever. It's just, yeah, Mach Rider I cannot recommend to anybody. It's just not a good game at all. It's one of those games it's almost too fast. And because it's too fast, you can't see what's going on unless you're JKL, who has the record in fighting course, all levels. But I did the top score for the solo course, which is arguably the most interesting one. That's not the full game. Yeah, Mach Rider is just not a good game. I can't really recommend it to anybody. Okay, Mario Brothers. This is the original, not Super Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers is good. It's similar to Balloon Fight in that they both have like weird physics that you gotta get used to, but once you get used to them, this game's a blast. I can't really hate this game. The only reason it's not amazing is just because of the physics. But Mario Brothers, it's a classic. I think it just barely misses out on amazing. But yeah, I like Mario Brothers. I think it's a pretty good game. I don't have much to say on it. Pinball, it's freaking pinball. Okay, it's pinball. What do you want me to say? It's not bad. It's not good. It's just a basic game of pinball. It's totally fine. It's fine. I don't have much else to say on pinball either. It's just fine. So moving on. Popeye. Let me turn this down a little bit. Popeye is gonna go in good tier. It's another simple game similar to like Donkey Kong Jr., but Popeye is a pretty good game. You gotta run around and collect items, and once you have them all, you complete the level. It's 3 levels for a loop, so it's short and sweet if you're just trying to complete the game once. The sounds and the music are okay. It's just an okay game, or I should say a good game. It's not like, because if it was okay, it'd be in fine tier. But yeah, I can recommend Popeye. It plays really well. You have an attack, so if you are in trouble, you can at least fight your way out of it sometimes. Yeah, I think Popeye's good. Pro Wrestling. Can't believe this is even a black box game, but, well, here we are. It's just fine. I like that there are original characters in the game, and I like that there are 5 stages to a loop, and then for the full game, it's like 3 loops, basically. Pro Wrestling is fine. I don't have too much issue with the game. It's just not... The problem with Pro Wrestling, I think, one, is that some mashing is required, just some. Otherwise, you have to be more strategic with everything, or you have to do countouts where you have to get your opponent out of the ring and then keep him out of the ring and then make sure that they are out of the ring after 10 seconds. Maybe it was 20. I don't know. I don't care about wrestling. It's fake. I don't know. Pro Wrestling has some interesting things going for it. I don't think it's the greatest black box game ever, but at the same time, it's just fine. Both casually and a speedrun. It's just fine. Slalom. A rare game, actually. Rare made Slalom. It's just gonna go in poor. The problem I'm having with Slalom is that 1, levels are too easy. Or 2, levels are too hard. There's no middle ground. There's no, there's 3 different courses you can go on. One of them, in my opinion, one of them should have been an easy course, then like a medium course, and then a hard course. They don't do that. The first 3 or 4 levels are all easy, and then you get to level 5, and the difficulty just skyrockets. You know, that's rare in a nutshell. But at the same time, black box games admittedly are supposed to be very basic, nothing too crazy. And yet Slalom just doesn't feel like that sometimes. It can be tough. So Slalom goes in poor tier for me. Even the gameplay itself is not that interesting. You're just dodging obstacles, which maybe that's hypocritical to say when, you know, for example, pinball, all you're doing is watching a ball fly around. But this is my list. I don't care. Soccer is another poor tier. Soccer is very easy, but it's also slow. Soccer's very slow. It's not the worst game ever made. It's not awful. It's playable. The game at least works. It's playable. But there's better soccer games on the NES. And, you know, it's not the most interesting game. I don't think it's atrocious, though. It just goes in poor tier. I don't know how difficult level 4 and 5 are, but, you know, level 1 soccer, you're going to have an easy time. If you want an easy speedrun, play soccer. I'm going to skip the rest of this song. Oh, yeah, I'm skipping it. All right. Okay, Stack Up. I can't rank Stack Up fairly. You want to know why? Because... Wait, why was Stack Up here? Whatever. Stack Up I'm having trouble figuring out because you need a Rob to play this. You need a Rob. If you do the speedrun or just try to play the game without a Rob, all you can do is press start and just get points that way for no reason. I don't know if we can even rank. I don't know if we can rank Stack Up. I don't know. Whoops, hang on. I'm gonna... Stack Up gets its own tier. Stack Up is going here. Just because... How do you rank a game that you require a Rob for? And I can't use a Rob. So, Stack Up's going in can't rank. Okay, Super Mario Brothers, amazing. Come on. Can you imagine me putting Super Mario Brothers in any other tier? Give me a break. Super Mario Brothers is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Phenomenal game. There's nothing wrong with it. Tennis. So the problem with tennis is that if you play on level 3 or higher, this game is hell. If you play on level 1 or 2, it's not too bad. But even then, the actual gameplay is not great. The judge will make some BS calls, and the hitboxes don't completely work, so I think we're going to put tennis in poor. Yeah, it's just barely going to miss out being, like, fine, but yeah, tennis I think goes in poor. Maybe at the top of poor tier, but yeah. Urban Champion, probably another poor tier, I gotta say. Urban Champion is, I mean, probably one of the first fighting games ever made, especially on the NES. But it's literally just punch high, punch low. Punch fast, punch, you know, stronger, slower. It's nothing crazy. For what it is, it's probably fine. Maybe I could move it up, but as of now, that's where Urban Champion's going. Volleyball. Okay, now I'm starting to... Man, a lot of these black box games are poor, I'm noticing. Volleyball's gonna be poor. Volleyball is just it's a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Sometimes you'll just get annihilated by the computer player. But even then, to speedrun this game, all you have to do is just time your serve. I don't know if it's frame perfect or like a couple frames, but that's literally all you have to do in the speedrun. It's not anything crazy. And if you miss one, you're losing time, and it's kind of a pain to recover. So volleyball is going in poor tier. I don't think it's awful. I think it's more fun than all three of these games. But that's not saying a whole lot. Wild Gunman is another fine game. It's just fine. Another Zapper game. Another one that you still have to be quick on. Or you can just do what I did in the speedrun and look up where enemies are going to be. At least for game C. For game A, you got to wait for them to turn around and then you shoot them. So it is a game where you got to be fast. But yeah, I don't have too much else to say on Wild Gunman. So that's where that's going to go, I guess. Wrecking Crew is good. One issue with Wrecking Crew, and that is if you mess up and you can't get back up to where you need to go, you're just screwed. It's one of those kinds of games, which I'm not really a fan of. I don't like games where you can't recover, essentially. So yeah, Wrecking Crew is gonna go in good tier. The music's still great. If you can memorize what to do in every level, it's a lot of fun. It plays really well. I'll leave it in good tier. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reorder these, and I might move games into different tiers now that they're all out here. I will say these three are not changing. Stack Up's not changing. So let's see. First off, this goes here. I think Donkey Kong's better than Duck Hunt. Of these games, I think Wrecking Crew is the best. I almost want to move Mario Brothers up. I'll think about it. And Donkey Kong. I don't know. There's... this is hard now. I'm starting to second guess myself. I think Balloon Fight goes down here. Excite Bike, I think, is slightly better than it. Gyromite stays in good. Wrecking Crew stays in good. I'm going to move Donkey Kong Jr. up here. Mario Brothers, I think I'm going to move here. Yeah, that looks a bit better. I'm actually going to move Donkey Kong Jr. to the top. Again, it's not as good as the first, or at least I can't really rank it better than the first. But yeah. There's a storm coming. I think it's going to knock my power out. Maybe it doesn't agree with my tier list. Yeah, I'm good with good now. Fine, let's see. Yeah, this looks right to me. Poor. What's the best game in poor tier? Ice Climber is not very good. I like Soccer just barely more than Ice Climber. It's not saying a whole lot. They're both not good games. Urban Champion's better than Volleyball. I think it's better than Slalom, honestly. Slalom's better than Volleyball, though. Donkey Kong 3. Yeah, I'll leave that where it is. Yeah. I think this is it. I think this is the tier list. Based on my opinions, I think this is the final list. I think this is it. After speedrunning all Black Box games, I think this is where I'd put them all. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 18 games that are at least fine. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games that are poor or awful, and one game I can't really rank. Even though I've played Stack Up, I've only played it without a Robin. That's incredibly boring. It's not fair to rank it. Okay, that's my tier list. That's it. I need to rename it. That sure was a tier list. Ariel's still mad about Clue Clue Land. Have you played Clue Clue Land, Ariel? Do you have a speedrun time in that one? Clue Clue Land should belong there. Have you tried running Clue Clue Land, or at least playing it, or did you just look at it? I tried to say shouldn't. Oh, okay. Oh, you played it as a kid with your dad a lot. I see. Yeah. The only way Clue Clue Land avoids being awful and avoids being down here is because someone said, use the D-pad, go to the direction you want to go. So if you want to go up, you got to press up. That was the only way I was able to get through it, because the way the game explains its controls does not work. It doesn't work. It can also be really fast, too, I should say that. And it can be caught off guard pretty quick. I will say, way back when, by that I mean like 4 months ago, Clue-Clue-Land would have been like here. But after playing it and after really trying it, it at least moves up. I at least see the value in the game. Again, Clue-Clue-Land might move up to fine in, not too long. It might even move up. I don't see these 3 games changing. These games are awful. I didn't even talk about I didn't even talk specifics about Gumshoe. I'm not gonna bother. Y'all know this game sucks. It's the worst one. Ice Climber, what do you want me to say that's good about it? Because there's not really much. And then like games like Pinball and Soccer, there's not much to them anyways. So again, like what do you want me to do about it? So yeah, I think that's gonna cover it. Alrighty. Ariel, where would you put Clue-Clue-Land? Does it go in amazing for you, or good? Or fine? Where does it go for you? Good. See, if you had said it goes in amazing, I would actually straight up be like, But because I can get the logic why you'd say between Gyromite and Popeye, you'd think Clue-Clue-Land. I like Popeye more than it. I'm trying to, Popeye I would probably put higher than Clue-Clue-Land. I'm trying to get in your mindset. I still think Popeye's better. I can understand why, like, Balloon Fight for sure, I can understand why you'd put it above that. Donkey Kong Jr. Math, Golf. I get the logic. I get it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I can really be too convinced that Clue-Clue-Land should be higher. At least not now. In the future, maybe. But this is probably the one game that could change the most. These 3 are not changing. A couple of these are not changing. Even at the top, like Gyromite, I might think belongs somewhere else, So, if I get a Rob, I'll play Stack Up for real, and I'll try that out. But Stack Up's probably I'm gonna be honest, Stack Up might go in poor or fine. I can't see it going higher than that, but I still want to try to be as fair as I can. Looking at this, I mean, even Urban Champion, I'm surprising myself that Urban Champion's this high. You're very on board with this, except for Clue-Clue-Land. That's fair. There's going to be one game that we're going to disagree on heavily. I remember somebody's put Pro Wrestling in top tier. I don't agree at all. I think Pro Wrestling's fine. It's fine. Some people hate it just because it's wrestling, but like the actual game is like fine. Yeah. Why? How is Pro Wrestling top tier? I don't get it. And then I think that same person put like, I don't know if they put Golf in like bottom tier or whatever, but Golf's not that bad. It's not a very good game, but it's not a very bad game either. It's just a game. It is a basic ass game of golf. So, oh well. Yeah, it's a game called Golf. What did you expect? Right. Now, the best golf game on NES is NES Open Tournament Golf. That's the best one. That's the best one. Okay. Do I need to specify anything else in the tier list, or am I good? Because I think I'm going to highlight this and put it on YouTube. Anything else I should clarify or address? Does anything not make sense? Or is this pretty solid? If you want me to talk about Gumshoe, I'll talk about Do y'all want me to explain everything again? You should do more tier lists. I should, honestly. I should. Okay, you know what? Okay. in case somebody watches this and wants to know why I hate Gumshoe so much, okay, fine, I'll talk about Gumshoe. I'll talk about it. This is the worst Black Box game ever. This is the worst one. Why is it a side-scroller that you have to shoot the guy and shoot everything else? The hitboxes are still unclear. If you game over, sometimes you just don't even continue. And when you do continue, you only get 50 bullets. And if you're on the last stage, that's not enough ammo to be able to fight the final boss. This game is Gumshoe's atrocious. The music's not even that great, except for level 3. It's passable. Why? What is the point? Just make a side scroller that you can play as with the controller. Why can't you control your movement? Why do you have to like? Why can't you be in charge of if you're gonna move left or right? I mean, you can't even move left. Like, why can't? Why? What is? Why was this released? I think it's fair, Ariel. I can say that like the idea isn't bad. It's just as you were making this game, you have to look at it and go, something's wrong. Like someone had to notice. But then there's Super Mario Brothers, which is, come on, do you really think I've got anything bad to say about Super Mario Brothers? Come on, give me a break. All right, I'm leaving it where it is. That's gonna do it, unless there's anything else. I don't think I have anything else. I think I've talked about them all. What? Actually, real quick, one more thing. What games do I not have cartridges for? I have all those carts. I don't have DK Junior Math. I don't have Clue Land, actually. Actually, wait, I gotta make sure that's true. Hang on. Yeah, that's true. I don't have Clue Land on cart. Hammer Bros are dumb. That's fair. It's fair, at least. Yeah, I don't have Clue Land on cartridge. Same for Donkey Kong 3, believe it or not. What else do I not have? And Stack Up. Stack Up is probably the hardest one to come by. And then it would probably be Stack Up's the hardest one to come by, then DK Junior Math, then maybe Clue Land, and then Donkey Kong 3. The rest of these I have cartridges for, so. Yeah. Those are the only 4 I don't have. How dare you? I know, right? Alright. That is where I'm going to cut off the YouTube video. So, thanks for watching.